excuse my notes, I'm a bit nervous, so I might be looking down a little bit. I'd like to start by acknowledging the ancestors who walked on this land before us and pay my respect to elders, both past and present, and in particular, the Aboriginal people here today who've used their voice, strength and perseverance to pave the way for me to be in this position, speaking to you all today. As Georgia mentioned, my name's Holly. I'm a proud Yuin woman who was born and raised on Darrawal land in the Southern Shire. I've always been proud to be Aboriginal. My extremely feisty nan made sure I knew where I came from, who I was, who my family and my community were. One of my first memories I have was being 4 and sitting on our balcony with my nan and her explaining our culture and why it is something to be so proud of. When I started primary school, I carried this pride with me, and it was in my school years that I first remember being confronted with a version of history that I knew not to be true. During primary school, I distinctly remember being taken to Captain Cook's landing place in Cornell on an excursion. And this day, it's seared into my memory, not only because we were made to try sauerkraut, it's awful, don't do it, and not only because we got an in-depth lesson on the symptoms of scurvy, and I became really concerned that I wasn't eating enough fresh fruits and veggies. The day is burned into my brain because of how deeply uncomfortable I felt being in that space and knowing that I was standing on land that marked the beginning of centuries of trauma that had travelled through generations of our community. And none of this was acknowledged while we were on that excursion. This concealment of Australia's true history continued through both my primary and high school years. I remember being taught about the First Fleet and the claim of terra nullius, and the only memory I have of any Aboriginal history, culture or stories being told was an English teacher in high school playing me rabbit-proof fence over several classes one week with a passing conversation about the stolen generations. Instead of a trip to Captain Cook's landing place or a one-off viewing of rabbit-proof fence, my classmates and I should have been taught the truth. We should have been taught that this land was never empty terra nullius, that Aboriginal people had been thriving and surviving on country for more than 60,000 years, that it was the arrival of the First Fleet that brought violence to our shores and began to decimate our people and culture. I was taught of massacres overseas, but never of massacres that took place in our own shore. One of the first occurred on Darrawal land in 1816. We should have been taught that in the 19th and 20th centuries, Aboriginal people were being driven from their land, incarcerated, assimilated, placed in missions and relegated to the fringes of society. And I say all this not as an exercise in guilt, but because we can't move forward without knowing where we have been and fully acknowledging the truth of our history as a country and as Australians. Lasting and effective change cannot be achieved unless we have a shared, truthful understanding of the nature of the dispute, of history, and of how we got to where we stand as a country. The Aboriginal experience in Australian history is critical to recognition. From pre-contact to invasion to the frontier wars, from compulsory racial segregation to assimilation, from self-determination to the return of neo-paternalism. Hearing and documenting this history is necessary before we can come to some true reconciliation and genuine healing on both sides. The Uluru Statement from the Heart, which I encourage you guys to Google if you haven't seen it, was the basis of this year's NAIDOC theme, Voice, Treaty, Truth. And in that statement, 250 community delegates who attended called for the establishment of a Makarrata Commission to supervise a process of treaty between the governments and First Nations and conduct a process of truth-telling about our history. Makarrata is a word for the language of the Yolngu people of Arnhem Land. It means two parties coming together after a struggle to heal the wounds of the past and to live again in peace. The word's core message is to acknowledge that something wrong has been done and to seek to make things right. I believe even though we've made great strides in events like this one and NAIDOC Week contribute to improving the dialogue between Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal people, we still very much struggle to acknowledge the truth of our history. There's an Aboriginal comedian called Stephanie Tisdall, who also Google, she's amazing, who tells a joke about Australia treating Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people like its best set of china or silverware. On special occasions, roll it out, but normally keep it locked away, out of sight, out of mind. And as an example of this, the national apology was a momentous occasion. Afterwards, there was this feeling of, okay, we've apologised and we can move on. And it just doesn't work like that. There is still a tremendous amount of healing that needs to be done. And unless we can conduct a full and robust process of truth-telling together, we cannot heal the trauma of our past. The establishment of the Makarrata Commission would allow an in-depth and organic process of our people to tell our stories, document them Of course, the Uluru Statement from the Heart is not the first time the issue of truth-telling and treaty has been drawn onto this nation's political stage. In 1988, the late Bob Hawke issued the Barunga Statement, which called for the establishment of a treaty between the government and First Nations people. The Barunga Statement called for the Australian government to recognise the Aboriginal people's rights to respect for and promotion of our Aboriginal identity, as well as calling for the government to negotiate a treaty recognising our prior ownership, continued occupation, sovereignty and affirming our human rights and freedoms. In his final act as Prime Minister in 1991, Bob Hawke had this statement hung on the walls of Parliament and called on future leaders to honour its request. It's fitting that this topic is now back on the table 31 years later. A substantive treaty has always been the primary aspiration of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander rights movements. Our sovereignty has never been ceded, not in 1788, not in 1967, not with the Native Title Act. It coexists with the sovereignty of the Crown and should never be extinguished. Australia is one of the few liberal democracies around the world which still does not have a treaty or some kind of other formal acknowledgement or agreement with its Indigenous minorities. A treaty would be a legally binding agreement between the government and Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, with clauses regarding sovereignty, self-determination, customary law and rights. Treaties are widely viewed as a way to foster empowerment, healing and self-determination, and it is widely supported by Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Dealing with the intergenerational trauma that runs through our communities is a daily reality for every single Aboriginal person in this country. We deal with the effects within ourselves, within our families and within our communities. A treaty which fosters empowerment, healing and self-determination is desperately needed for our people to move forward and thrive. In my time working in the Aboriginal health space and more recently my time within social services, I am confronted every day with the devastating effects of this nation's history. As Georgia said, I'm currently studying a Master's in Social Work, and at the end of last year I was incredibly fortunate to secure a placement with the Juvenile Justice in New South Wales. I have truly never been confronted with such a mixture of emotions during a job. About 50% of the juvenile justice population in New South Wales is Aboriginal. In the Northern Territory, 100% of their juvenile prison population is Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander. Those are staggering numbers when you consider that we make up less than 3% of the population. Aboriginal mental health distress rates are much greater than non-Aboriginal people in this country, and about a third of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders experience high or very high levels of psychological distress compared to only 1 in 8 non-Aboriginal Australians. This was particularly present in the juvenile justice population I worked with. Over 80% of the young people in that system were dealing with a mental health condition and complex trauma. And in one of my first days of placement at Juvenile Justice, I was working in Parramatta Children's Court. One of my roles there was going down into the cells and making contact with young people who had just come into custody, conducting a brief assessment of their circumstances and how we could assist them to basically get out of custody. And I'll never forget the first young girl I met with. She had been removed from her parents and placed in foster care. She'd experienced some awful things as a result of the intergenerational trauma that was running through her family, and then again when she was placed in foster care. She was in custody for damaging the walls of her group home. She punched a hole in the wall of her group home. And I honestly could not believe that this 12-year-old girl was being incarcerated for, it was so obviously a symptom of her ongoing distress. And I ranted and raved at my poor supervisor for probably about an hour before I calmed down enough to reflect on this experience. And the unfortunate reality is that this is not uncommon. This could be any young Aboriginal person in our family or communities. And it's for this reason that I'm so strongly resolved to fight for a treaty in this country. Recognising our history and securing healing, empowerment and self-determination through treaty is so incredibly important to our young people's future and well-being that I cannot be quiet. I am driven to use my voice to continue the fight for us. But I can't do it alone, and our community can't do it alone. From the early days of Aboriginal activism, we as a community have continually expressed what we need for healing, and for the most part, this has been ignored by the Australian government. The Uluru Statement from the Heart was a culmination of delegates from Aboriginal communities across Australia coming together and producing a statement outlining what needs to happen for us all to move forward. This statement, our voice, was rejected by the Parliament, saying it's neither desirable or capable of winning acceptance at a referendum. It is tiring to continue to fight for something by yourself, or to continue to use your voice for who are not being heard. We need the participation of everyone in this country to come to the table so we can heal and move forward. And I know I've been sounding slightly negative throughout this whole thing, but I'm very hopeful for the future of this country and of our people and of the ability for us to all come together, move forward together and share a future together. We can become a healed nation. We can see more of our people achieving and striving. We can feel sadness and anger about the past, but it will not define us, our stories or our future. So I'm going to finish up by reading you all the Uluru Statement from the Heart, and I urge everyone here, but particularly the non-Aboriginal people here, to take this statement forward, make this part of your conversations in the future, so we can be united in our voices, fighting for the recognition and truth and establishment of a treaty. We gathered at the 2017 National Constitutional Convention, coming from all points of the southern sky, make this statement from the heart. Our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander tribes were the first sovereign nations of the Australian continent with its adjacent islands and possessed it under our own laws and customs. This our ancestors did according to the reckoning of our culture from the creation, according to the common law from time immemorial, and according to science more than 60,000 years ago. This sovereignty is a spiritual notion. The ancestral tie between the land or Mother Nature and the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples who were born therefrom remain attached thereto, and must one day return hither to be united with our ancestors.